The Inca Empire, known as Tawantinsuyu, did not spring into existence overnight. Its origins are a blend of myth and historical reality. According to legend, Manco Capac and Mama Oclo emerged from Lake Titicaca, sent by the sun god, Inti. Their mission was to find a fertile place to establish a civilization. Manco Capac carried a golden staff to find the site for Cusco.
Archaeological evidence suggests a gradual development for the Inca. They were likely one of many small ethnic groups in the Andean highlands. The early Incas were probably a modest chieftain based in the Cusco Valley.
Dr. Brian S. Bauer notes that the initial Inca state was small and its influence limited to the Cusco region. Their rise was built upon strategic alliances, clever politics, and military might. Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui, in the early 15th century, began their meteoric expansion. His leadership transformed the small kingdom into a true empire, laying the groundwork for the Tawantinsuyu that would later astound the Spanish conquistadors.
Religion was central to every aspect of Inca life, shaping their worldview, social structure, and daily routines. The Incas worshipped a pantheon of gods, with Inti, the sun god, holding the most prominent position. The Sapa Inca, as the emperor, was believed to be a direct descendant of Inti, which legitimized his supreme authority over the empire. Sacred places known as huacas were widespread throughout the Inca Empire. Huacas could be natural formations like mountains, springs, or unusual rocks, or they could be man-made shrines, temples, or even mummified ancestors. These sites were considered to possess spiritual power and were focal points for religious ceremonies. People left offerings at huacas, ranging from coca leaves and chicha, corn beer, to precious textiles and sometimes animal or human sacrifices, especially during times of great crisis or important state events. The Inca religious calendar was filled with festivals and ceremonies tied to agricultural cycles and significant astronomical events. The Inti Raymi, the Festival of the Sun, celebrated during the winter solstice, was one of the most important. It involved elaborate processions, music, feasting, and sacrifices to ensure the sun's return and the fertility of the land.
Daily life for the common people in the Inca Empire, known as Hatun Runa, was largely agrarian and communal. Most lived in small villages organized into aylus, which were extended family groups that collectively worked the land. Agriculture was the backbone of the economy, with staple crops like potatoes, maize, corn, and quinoa cultivated on terraced mountain slopes. Artistic expression among the Incas was highly developed, though often utilitarian or religious in purpose. Textiles were particularly valued, considered more precious than gold or silver. The quality and design of cloth indicated social status, and fine textiles called kumbi were produced by specialized weavers, ekalas or chosen women, and kumbikamayaks, male weavers, for the nobility and religious ceremonies. These textiles featured intricate geometric patterns and vibrant colors derived from natural dyes. Music and dance were integral to Inca festivals and rituals. They used a variety of instruments including panpipes, antaras, flutes, quenas, drums, tiñas, and trumpets made from conch shells or ceramic. Songs and dances often recounted myths, celebrated military victories, or accompanied agricultural activities.
The Inca Empire flourished in one of the world's most challenging geographical settings, the Andes Mountains. Their ability to thrive in this environment was largely due to their remarkable engineering skills. One of their most impressive achievements was their mastery of stone construction. Inca builders were unparalleled in their ability to cut and fit massive stones together with such precision that not even a knife blade could be inserted between them. This technique, known as ashlar masonry, did not use mortar.
Inca architecture is renowned for its strength, beauty, and harmonious integration with the natural landscape. The capital city, Cusco, was the heart of the empire and a showcase of Inca architectural prowess. It was laid out in the shape of a puma, a sacred animal.
Important buildings such as palaces and temples were constructed with the finest polygonal masonry. The Coricancha, or Temple of the Sun, was perhaps the most sacred site in Cusco. Its walls were reputedly covered in sheets of gold reflecting the sun's glory.
Spanish chroniclers were awestruck by the city's organization, stonework, and grandeur. describing it as a place of immense wealth and power. Perhaps the most famous Inca site known to the modern world is Machu Picchu. This extraordinary citadel, perched high in the Andes Mountains, was likely built as an estate for the Inca emperor Pachacuti around 1450.
Its purpose is still debated by scholars, with theories ranging from a royal retreat to a religious sanctuary or an administrative center. Section 6. The Sapa Incas' dominion, social hierarchy, and imperial governance.
The Inca Empire was a highly centralized and hierarchical state, ruled by the Sapa Inca, who was considered a divine monarch. At the apex of society, the Sapa Inca held absolute power over all aspects of life within Tawantinsuyu. He was believed to be the son of Inti, the sun god, and his authority was therefore unquestionable.
Below the Sapa Inca was the nobility, which consisted of his relatives, known as panakas or royal ilas, and other high-ranking officials. These nobles held key positions in the government, military, and priesthood. They enjoyed privileges such as fine clothing, polygamy, and exemption from manual labor.
The empire was meticulously organized for administrative purposes. Tawantinsuyu was divided into 4 large provinces, or suyus, each governed by an apu, typically a close relative of the Sapa Inca. These suyus converged at the capital, Cusco, the navel of the universe.
Each suyu was further subdivided into smaller administrative units based on decimal groupings of households, such as units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000. This decimal system allowed for efficient census taking, resource management, and the levying of labor tribute known as mitia.
Section 7. Binding an empire, the Kapaknan and systems of control.
A key element in the administration and control of the vast Inca Empire was its extraordinary road system, the Kapaknan, or Royal Road. This network spanned over 40,000 kilometers, traversing diverse and challenging terrains, from coastal deserts to high Andean mountain passes. The roads varied in construction, from wide paved thoroughfares in important areas to narrower paths in more remote regions.
They were meticulously planned and maintained, with features like retaining walls, stairways carved into rock, and drainage systems. This impressive infrastructure was essential for communication, troop movement, and the transport of goods throughout the empire.
Along the Kapaknan, the Incas established a system of relay runners known as chasquis. These highly trained messengers were stationed at small relay posts called chasquiwasi, located every few kilometers along the roads. A chasqui would run his segment at top speed, carrying messages, often memorized or encoded in quipus or small items, and then pass them on to the next runner. This system allowed for rapid communication across vast distances.
Section 8. The arrival of shadows, Spanish conquest, and the empire's end. Huayna Capac and his designated heir had reportedly succumbed to a disease, possibly smallpox, which had arrived in the Americas ahead of the main Spanish force, decimating indigenous populations who had no immunity. Atahualpa eventually defeated Huascar, but the civil war had severely weakened the empire, causing deep divisions and depleting resources. The mighty Inca Empire, despite its organization and power, faced a swift and dramatic downfall following the arrival of Spanish conquistadors led by Francisco Pizarro in 1532. Several factors contributed to this collapse. Internally, the empire had recently been ravaged by a brutal civil war between 2 half-brothers, Huascar and Atahualpa, who both vied for the title of Sapa Inca after their father Huayna Capac died.
The agricultural terraces built by the Incas remain in use in many areas, demonstrating the sustainability of their farming techniques in the challenging mountain environment. These physical remnants serve as powerful reminders of the empire's sophistication. The architectural and engineering achievements of the Inca continue to astound visitors and scholars. Sites like Machu Picchu, Sacsayhuaman, and Ollantaytambo stand as enduring testaments to their skill in stonemasonry, urban planning, and landscape integration. The extensive road system, the Kapaknan, parts of which are still used by local communities, has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, acknowledging its historical and cultural significance. Many cultural traditions, agricultural practices, and forms of social organization, such as the Elu system of communal landholding and labor, have also persisted, adapting over centuries, but retaining their indigenous roots. Although the Inca Empire was dismantled by the Spanish conquest, its legacy continues to resonate powerfully in the Andean region and beyond. One of the most tangible legacies is the Quechua language, which was the lingua franca of Tawantinsuyu. Millions of people in Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, and other Andean countries still speak Quechua today, preserving a vital link to their Inca ancestors. Section 9. Echoes through time. The enduring legacy of the Inca civilization.